What's up, party people? This is Jude Snowboarder here from Facebook, and I'm watching a video from Mint Hunter Comics talking about his business this year in 2024 as we come to the end and if he made any profit. And he talks about, and this video is really for people who are sellers, who are entrepreneurs, business owners, and anybody selling comic books is now a business owner because all PayPal sales get reported. So believe it or not, you're a business owner. Now, you might not take that business seriously. It might be small bucks on the side. It might be medium bucks as a side business. It might be a full-time gig. But I wanted to do a video just not to give away my strategic advantages, which I've already done a video on what makes me and my sales different from others. But as an MBA, as a consultant for big companies like Oracle, Intel, and IBM, having business sense is going to be key in a difficult market. Anybody can make sales in 2021. You go get a raw book, you slab it, you sell it, you flip, you make 100% profits. Those days are gone. So now money is scarcer. Environment's difficult, although it looks like it's getting better, but it hasn't yet, but it looks like it, so there's a lot of promise. So an environment like this with any industry, you really have to have a competitive advantage. And what does that mean? That's a strategic term. It's called a strategic competitive advantage. These books are not commodities. And I always tell people that, this isn't corned bean, this isn't pig meat, this isn't oil where, everybody's got a 9.8. Now, if there's a lot of 9.8s of some $100 book, yeah, those are going to be commodities, and whoever's cheapest is going to make the sale. Bottom line, it's not rocket science. But an environment where harder to get books, bigger books, unique business models, maybe some stores have individual books that only their store sells. Maybe some people are really good at buying collections on the cheap and then selling those books quickly on $1 auctions on Facebook or whatnot. But everybody has to have a competitive advantage. And so you can't just be like, I'm going to buy everything and sell everything. That's the Walmart. And no one's going to go out and create a new Walmart to beat Walmart. No one's going out and creating a new Amazon online to beat Amazon. The scale of that is impossible. You're not going to just enter the market and try to compete with a Walmart. Me and you aren't. Maybe some big company in Europe might come over here and try to compete, but Walmarts and Costco's have not done very good in Europe, so that's not likely to happen. So you have to be a smart entrepreneur, smart business person. I see a lot of collectors get online and say, hey, I'm new to comics. What should I buy? And I'm like, well, what's your goals? I always ask that. And usually they don't have goals. And it's funny because that is the exact same question you always ask any business owner. Let me see your business plan. What's your mission statement? Now, whether or not you have a written mission statement or you have one in your head, there should be a mission. What is the goal? Buy as many comics as I can and sell them all. Go for it. I don't think that's a good business model. I think anybody who's lazy can do that. It's the people that have niche markets. So Mint Hunter's doing a video and talked about what sold for him. And it was interesting because what sold and didn't sold for him was exactly opposite of what sold and didn't sold for me. And a lot of people, whether it's someone who does influencing on the side for some YouTube income, whether it's raw modern books, whether it's slabbed modern books, whether it's older books, whether you're buying them raw and getting them graded and selling, whether you're buying them graded and selling them graded, there is so many different ways to have a niche in this market. And so one, you got to really know the comic book market. And then you got to figure out what you like and what you're good at. And those are two different things oftentimes. What do you like to do? What are you good at? What are you capable of? Can you buy a bunch of, $5,000 books and sit on them until they sell for a lot more and you get your profits? So your income, your budget, how much you can afford to put in your business model, all these things matter. This is going to be a new day and age. Back in the 80s and 90s, the big deal was supply chain management. What does that mean? Reduce the cost. For every $10 that you save in cost, that's $10 profit. That's not the same as $10 in sales. If you make a sale for $10, you might have a $2 profit. But if you save $10 in cost, that's a $10 profit right off the bat. So reducing costs, where do costs come from? PayPal goods and services. If anybody thinks that's not going up again, they're crazy. Facebook Marketplace just went up to 10% this year. Costs. eBay is probably going to go up. Shipping fees are going up, and we don't think they're going to go down. So if the people that are going to make profit by reducing costs are going to find ways to reduce PayPal goods and service fees, reduce shipping fees. And a lot of people I see on Facebook are like, well, you can't. And that's just lazy sellers. The people that say they can't. You're right. They don't have the genuine ingenuity. They don't have the creativity. They don't have the ability to find ways to decrease costs, and they are going to lose sales. Because if you both are selling a $90 book and no one's going to pay more than $9 because it's a regular book, then the only way you're making money is on other ways to reduce costs. Shipping, financing, invoicing, packaging. Packaging adds up. There are ways to reduce those costs, and you as a seller have to get creative, and you have to figure out. You are not in the comic book industry. You are in the shipping industry. You are a retail store, and every retail store in America has to deal with inventory control. They have to deal with how that affects their taxes at the end of the year. If they're sitting on inventory, you got to figure out the cost of keeping track of your books. That's apps or databases. What kind of databases are you using? What kind of apps are you paying for? You have to figure out how to do invoicing and the costs of that. These are all regular problems that every business owner has to face in America. And the comic sellers who might not have been that professional and just playing on the side to sell some books, they're going to get pushed out by the people who are spending more time and ingenuity to lower these costs, because buyers have less money. And there's more and more places to buy these books now than there was 4 years ago. I don't know if you're aware of how many different new places, new stores, new auction sites, new ways to buy books raw that are moderns from LCSs across the nation. International sales is a big deal. How many sellers are willing to venture into that? That's a specialty of mine that I've learned to focus on. And there's a lot of factors involved in international sales. And if you're not willing to really put the time and effort into not just knowing how to do it, but communicating to the buyer in India, to the buyer in South Africa, to the buyer in Great Britain or Singapore, that you can ship this, and you got to make it easy. The confused mind says no. So you can't say, well, I'm going to sell you a book for $100. And then they get around to buying it. Oh, we're going to charge you 7% for the PayPal goods and fees. We're going to charge you another 10% for the conversion fees, the transaction fees, blah, 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 blah. And I can't do an invoice in Australian dollars. I can only do an invoice in USD. If you can't figure out how to make it simple for the buyer in Australia to buy from you, you're not going to be able to get that market. And the market is going to be worldwide. And a lot of people are just thinking locally. And that's not going to be good enough to, I think, remain profitable long term. And again, this is not specific to the comic book industry. This is every retailer in the United States is going to have to learn how to lower cost. People have less money. People are spending less. A lot of people are getting out. You've seen a lot of sellers go out of business. They've flooded the market with auctions to get rid of their slabs that they spent so much money to slab in 2021. And they sold for free because everybody just dumped that is not going to be in this business long term. They're like, I'm just getting out. I'm either closing my store, I'm getting out of comics, or whatever. This are my kitties playing around with the wood stove. So you really have to be a businessman, and not just a businessman, because I've been a businessman for many years, but I've been in the services industry. Selling books, shipping books is a whole different beast than the services industry. It's the goods and services, and there's a lot. You're not in the comic book industry. You're in the shipping business. And if you don't think of it that way, you won't figure out how to reduce costs for shipping, how to reduce costs for financing, for invoicing, for database management, for how do you do your taxes, how do you calculate cost of goods sold. That's a big deal. And if you're casual about it, you might get stuck paying a lot more in taxes. And if you're not aware already, it's capital gains tax of 28% on your profit. You buy a book for $50, you sell it for $100, you're going to have $14 in taxes on that. And a lot of people say, no, you don't know what you're talking about. Well, I've done taxes on my comic book business. I do a Schedule C, and there's different ways to do your taxes, but it is expensive. Anyways, if you have any questions, hit me up. I'll try to do some more videos to help. Happy hunting, guys.